How you doing? There are a number of recurrent ideas that crop up again and again in early boxing books, in treatises on the art of boxing. But every now and again, you come across one that's a little bit unusual. So today we're going to look at Boxing by J.C. Trotter, and we're going to talk about how it is that boxing makes you more attractive. I don't know what it is about this book, but I love it. I really do. There's something really special about it. The content of it doesn't really stand out hugely from the other books of the period. It's quite similar. But something about the style of the book, the presentation of it. I mean, just this cover. I mean, just look at it. It's amazing. I adore it. Now, sadly, this version's in really poor condition. For example, the front cover is completely loose. So yeah, I don't often dig it out and read it to you, but today we're going to. So yeah, bear with me, woman. Just talk among yourselves while I very carefully open it up. Here we go. This is right at the beginning. It's the bottom of the first page in Chapter 1, the introduction. Votaries in every branch of sport will always maintain that the particular athletic pursuit for which they are most enthusiastic, and in which they consequently excel, is the most beneficial to health. For our favourite sport, we can claim many advantages. First and foremost, boxing is a natural exercise, and does not by means of apparatus unduly or disproportionately develop or bring into prominence any particular set of muscles, but imparts strength equally over the whole body. You can see where this is going, can't you? Too much stress cannot be laid upon this advantage. The ancient Greeks, the greatest athletes the world has ever seen, seemed to have recognised the importance of selecting those exercises which called into play all the muscles of the body in a natural manner. At their great national games, of which the Olympian was the most important. God, I don't know what's going on with my throat at the moment. I put up a short video on YouTube recently, and it's also on Instagram Reels, and I swear people thought I was taking the mickey with my voice. I'm a little bit hoarse, so apologies, you'll just have to live with it. At their great national games, of which the Olympian was the most important, the athletes used to compete in running, leaping, wrestling, boxing, and throwing the discus. Statues of the winners were carved in marble by the best sculptors of the day, and by these ancient relics we can now see what symmetry of form this practicing of games without the use of apparatus gave. But of the 5 exercises enumerated, preference must be given, at all events, to wrestling and boxing. For if the Greeks had excelled only in running and jumping, they could not possibly have attained that grace and equal development of body which is so apparent in the old statues. Yeah, you know, is it? Can we disagree? No, probably not. Actually, let's just keep going for a little bit longer. Do not let us be misunderstood. In our opinion, all exercises are good, but those which tend to develop one particular set of muscles must have some other exercise to counteract them, whether they be sports which require apparatus or sports prompted by nature that do not. For instance, it will be said that running and walking are natural means of progression and do not in their performance require anything to aid them artificially. True. But these exercises, although excellent for developing the muscles of the lower limbs and for giving good lung room, do little or nothing for the shoulders or arms. Such exercises as rowing in light racing boats and bicycling, although capital in themselves, require some other exercise taken with them to exert the remaining muscles of the body that are not brought into play, so that the whole muscular system may be taxed equally. This will avoid that undue development of any one particular portion of the body which is in a minor sense a deformity. and give that uniformity of strength which is indispensable in the perfect model of man. Swimming, without doubt, is, unlike rowing and bicycling, a perfectly natural movement, and brings every part of the body into play just as much as boxing does, but too long or too frequent immersion in the water is not good, and has a tendency to make the muscles flaccid. I'm not sure that last point can really be defended. Too much swimming makes the muscles flaccid. Yeah, who knows? What do you think? I mean, you can't really argue that from a perspective of pure physique, that a good boxer or a good wrestler tends to be pretty well developed. This video is getting a bit weird, isn't it? But I think it's really interesting that that's used as a justification for boxing. It'll make you more attractive. I'm not sure it holds true at the very top end of the weight class. I think when you don't have to worry too much about making weight, I think there's a tendency to be of a very different physique. And I think you can look at a lot of the successful MMA fighters, people like Fedor, Daniel Cormier, Josh Barnett. These are people that didn't have the greatest physique. You know, they were hugely skilled, incredibly good at what they did, but because they weren't being forced to cut every bit of fat that wasn't absolutely necessary in order to make weight, they trained for effect only, and for technique and for ability, and that doesn't tend to give you that amazing physique. So yeah, I don't know if I agree or not, but either way, I think it's a fantastic little look into the world of J.C. Trotter and his marvellous book, Boxing. Expect to see more of that. It's nice to be making videos again, isn't it? So, yeah, stick something in the comments. I love talking to you. I try and respond to every comment. It's great. I love the kind of social aspect that YouTube brings. And if you've got any ideas for things you'd like me to make videos on, stick them in the comments too. And we'll see if inspiration strikes, and if it does, then we'll get a video on it. Take care.